A very good morning, everybody. Today we are going to work with the creation of tables. In our previous chapters, we have seen how we can create the communication with the web page and the database. Then we created the database. Now inside the database, now we are going to create the tables, which is now, and these tables are going to store the value. Now, when we create the table, now first let us have a look. There are different ways of creating a table. Now this is the SQL query. Now, sequential query language. Now you can see that as it is specifying, this is the has to be in the correct syntax and format. Now create table my guess. This is going to create a table. The name of the table will be my guess, and these are the different fields inside the table. Fields also referred to as the name of the column. Now the first column that will be created in this is ID, and this is the database. This is the data type which we specify just the name just beside the name of the column. Then we have unsigned. Now we are deciding the type. Now auto increment primary key. Now these are the constraints which we specified while we create the database. Now when we are creating the database, we need to specify these constraints and these data types. Now this was the first column which is going to be the primary key and auto increment. Auto increment is system generated column, or the value of this column will be automatically generated and incremented by the system. Generally starts with 0 and 1 and goes for 1 increment. Now the next column which we have the first name. This is the name of the database, and we specify the constraint with this is that not done. That means if we give the blank value, or if we are not going to give any value in this, it is going to display an error, or the value will not be inserted inside the table. Now the next column which we have specified the last name, it is also not null. And the third, the next column is email, the type is varchar, and these can be without giving any value. That means no constraint are specified over there. That means if we can also give the value of not null. All the null values are accepted for email. Now res date specifies the registration date. Now in this we have to feed the, either it is going to take the system date or whatever data which we feed inside this. Now in this it is going to create the name of the table. Now first let us try to run the query. Now you can see that we have chosen the name of the database MyDB3. Now in this we are going to execute the query. This is going to create the table my guess 1 2 3. You can see that the table name of the table has been created 1 2 3, and in this all the columns fields have been specified. You can see the structure of the table. This is the structure of the table. Now you can see that whatever structure we have given, it is displayed here. Now proceeding further, this was creation of tables by running the query in PHP MyAdmin part. Now we are going to try to create the table from the web page. These are the constraints which we specify along with each field or along with each name of the column. Now you can see that we are going to create a table from a web page using object oriented system. Name of the server which we have specified localhost, name of the username, password. Name of the username is root and the password is blank. Now in this we are going to choose the name of the database. We will need to feed the name of the database. This is the connection string. In this we are creating an object and feeding all the parameters of the connection. Now if there is a, it is going to check if the connection is, this set of codes is going to check the connection part, and it will display the error if there is any fault with the communication section. The next part, we have taken the query in a variable $SQL. Now we have taken the SQL query. Now it is time to process the query. Now in the next section we are going to process the query and check if it is created, then we are going to display table has been created, or it is going to display the error. Now let us try to run this. Now you can see that this is the name of the server. Now we are going to put the correct username and password. This is the index page where we are going to execute the web page. Now you can see that we get an error. Table my guess is already exists. So we can change the name here 1234 and then try it again. Now you can see that table my guess has been created successfully. Now this is how we work with PHP. Similar wise we are going to work with the procedural section. In this also we have different connection part. We check the communication, and after communication we take the query in a variable, and after taking the query in a variable we are going to process the query. Now processing with the PDO, we are taking the communication part. Now in the communication part you can see that we are trying to have the check the local host, name of the database, username and password. Now then we are going to check the connection part. Now if the connection is set or if any problem is there, then it is going to throw an exception and it will display the error message in the cache part, because this is exception handling. PDO allows to work with try catch method. Try catch method comes is a section comes and is a section of exception handling. In this part we have taken the query, and in this section we are processing the query. This is how we create and work with the tables. Now in our forthcoming chapters we are going to insert the values in the table.